Okay, I'm coming to you with another little short video. Just did finished Adventure Island 3, and then did a little bit of Afterburner 1 and 2 for the NES. The Adventure Island was a little bit harder than what I thought it was going to be for the last 4 worlds, but using save states and stuff, I was able to get through and finish that for you. Played a couple minutes of both Afterburner 1 and 2. The first Afterburner was made by Tengen, and you guys know, if you've seen me before on here, that I've talked about Tengen having games that were Sega got more of these Afterburner games like 1 and 2. They were sent over to the Nintendo. I think one was Tengen, and I think the other was a little bit later. Both games look similar. You have missiles, but you have a limited amount of missiles to use. You can also shoot the guns out, and there's enemy planes that go in your sight, and also there's other ones that are coming towards you and usually shoot missiles, and you have to try to avoid those missiles. I get a little disoriented when flying the plane sometimes because it does a barrel roll, and that gets a little bit disorienting while I'm trying to dodge stuff and everything. I'm sure there's a way I'm doing the barrel roll that I don't need to do. I think in the arcades, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, I think this game in the arcades, it had a what looked like a airplane, like an aircraft throttle that you could use to play the game with. It was definitely different for that time period because we had never seen anything like that before, and it was a little bit different. Sega made another game. I'll have to get the actual name for it. It's a motorcycle game, and it was the first of its kind where you could actually you set on what kind of resembled a motorcycle, and you could lean left and lean right, and also you could you had the handle grips up front like you would on a normal motorcycle. That again, like some of these other ones that had wheels, for racing and stuff like that, those were anything like that kind of came out that was different, was kind of it was new to us at the time, and it was awesome to us at the time because we didn't have things like that, and we didn't, and unless you went to the arcade, you didn't really have them at home because they hadn't made enough of them to make it a home console type yet. And of course now they make all kinds of different manufacturers and things make all kinds of peripherals for the for like racing games. You can get pedals and a steering wheel. Some of them are like like a Rock Band, where that's a big one where you just kind of you use drums and guitars. They're not real drums and guitars, but they're rhythm games, and you have to at least have some sort of rhythm to play them, to hit the buttons the right way. So but there are those and things, but back at that time you just didn't see a whole lot of those things like that, and it was different to see out at the arcade. Afterburner 1 and 2, I really don't have too much to say. Growing up and playing the Nintendo, I always played Top Gun, which was the thing for the Nintendo system. We got Top Gun. People with Sega got Afterburner. So, I mean, we had copies of Afterburner that we could have played, but I mean, by then everybody was into the Top Gun game and into the movie and all that craze. So, Top Gun was more of the thing to do. That was more of the game to play. Afterburner does kind of differentiate itself from Top Gun in that Top Gun, you actually have to land the plane after the missions, and you actually have to refuel the plane during the second mission, and it's only 4 missions long, whereas this one, I believe there's quite a few stages on Afterburner. on both Afterburners. I believe there's a lot of stages. We might get into it a little bit more if we play the Sega version a little later on, quite later on down the road. My thought process is to play the Nintendo games first, then play maybe the Super Nintendo, then maybe the Sega. So, like I said, the Sega may be a little bit different, but there was times when my friends and they would have a Sega, I'd have a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo. We'd play games on one of my systems, and then we'd play games on their systems. I don't remember anybody that I knew that had a Sega Genesis. I don't remember them owning Afterburner. Afterburner is held in regard as a very, very good game. Both of them are. I won't say I don't like them, but given the two games, I'm gonna pick Top Gun because that's what I played. And it is harder because you do have to land the plane, you do have to refuel it, but that's what I'm used to. That was the game I was used to. I didn't play this until I played this in the arcade a few times, and then I played it. I played the Tengen version of it, and then I didn't play the Sega version of it until I was maybe in my teenage years, I think, and I finally played it on a Sega, and that was the first time I played it, and of course, besides the arcade, and I just hadn't played it a whole lot. So, but you'll see different versions of that on the channel later on. I'm going to try to beat the Adventure Island 1 at some point, but also going to try to do Adventures of Lolo 2 and 3. I think for Friday Night Flashback, I believe we're going to go with probably going to be Alien Syndrome. There's a lot of games in between there, but I don't really want to go in depth with too many of them. We'll do a little bit of gameplay with them, and then if it looks like that maybe we can do something else, we'll do that. But be checking for Alien Syndrome. This is one of those I can kind of remember. It's a pretty good game. It's also a Sega and arcade port, and also this is a Tengen made game too. But the Tengen made version of this game is actually fairly similar to the other one, and so we'll go on that. I try to pick out ones that are going to be on that you can watch a playthrough of and some gameplay of that you might be interested in, that maybe people have heard of, maybe some people have heard of, maybe not a whole lot of people, but some people have heard of. And that seems to be one that I think Alien Syndrome is one that a few people have heard of. Maybe didn't get to play it. Like I said, I didn't get to play Alien Syndrome until later on because I didn't play the Nintendo version. Not that I remember the Nintendo version. I think I played another version of it at some point. So, but that's what we'll have on Friday, this coming Friday. So just look for the other playthroughs and results of games. Because we got quite a few before we would get down to Alien Syndrome, and we still got quite a few that's in the A department before we even get down to the B's. Like I said, if it's companies that made the games and things like that, and it's not a hack or a homebrew or something like that, I'll play them. But if they're if it says unknown, Like I'm looking at one right now that says unknown. I'm probably not going to play that. There's another one from a group called I don't know, maybe it's Sashin. It's a puzzle game. There's some of them I've heard of and some of them I haven't heard of before. There's an asteroid one on here and it says unknown as well. So we probably won't play that, even though I probably know what it is. Some of them are just knockoffs of other games and things like that. And we probably won't play hardly any of them that are Japanese, as I cannot read Japanese and I cannot get it translated. So yeah, there's that. So, but until next time, we will see you later.